Hi, in this video I want to talk about vibrational anchors. And this is something we've probably all done, but we've never actually considered it or had a term applied to it before. So I just came up with vibrational anchoring. Maybe somebody else has discussed it before, but I'd never heard of it. So if you are at this level vibrationally, what a vibrational anchor is something that, well, you could think of it as something that is below you and it's dragging you down, but that's not how I want to talk about it in this video. So a vibrational anchor that I'm going to be discussing in this video is something that's a little bit higher than you or all the way up here higher than you, right? And it's kind of like rock climbing where you throw the line up and then you try to catch up to it and move up in vibration. So the idea is to have an anchor that is higher than you vibrationally and align with it. So you want to synchronize with it. So that's what I'm going to be discussing in this video. I wrote an article, which I will just leave a link below too in the description, but I wrote this article on my other website, lothealing.com, and it was about binaural beats. And binaural beats are something where you have one frequency in your left ear and one frequency in your right ear, which I'm not sure if I even did that correctly for what you're seeing on the video there, but one frequency in each ear that's different than the other one. And the difference between those vibrations is something that your brain actually changes your brain waves to match, and it's called entraining your brain, E-N-T-R-A-I-N, entraining your brain. And so it actually can lower your brain waves or increase your brain waves by listening to those things in your ears. I've actually got binaural beat meditation music on my other channel and some on this channel. So you can check out that if you want to learn more about how to entrain your brain. But the point I was trying to make here in how it relates to the vibrational anchoring is that when your brain is not hearing this wave, it ends up changing because of that to sort of become harmonic with the beats that you're hearing in either ear. And so it wants to fill in the gaps and it wants to become harmonic with that. There's another video also that shows this where if you change the metronome on a clock, they'll end up synchronizing over time. And that's just the way the world works. Things try to synchronize with one another. They try to find harmony with one another. And the reason I bring that up is because if you are down here and you've got a vibrational anchor that you're going to be doing something with, and that's what I'll be discussing later in the video. So if you've got this vibrational anchor that's higher than you and you're here, it can actually help you to raise up to synchronize with it. Because these are all frequencies, right? It's a higher vibrational frequency. So it's going faster and you're going slower because you're really upset or something. And it's going really fast and you're upset and then you're listening to it. Let's say if it's music, right? And then you end up synchronizing with it. And that is how to raise your vibration. It's like a little hack of how to raise your vibration. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this. And also, I guess I can leave a little warning is if you listen to negative music when you are upset, you can start to become in harmony with the negative music, right? And so that can just lower your vibration. And I'm sure that people everywhere have felt that at some point they've listened to something, maybe a news story or something where people are just complain, or really upset. And it really lowers your vibration. You start to feel upset too. You start to notice more things that are making you upset because, of course, the law of attraction is continuing your vibration of what you're thinking about. And so, yeah, it is a thing that you should be aware of, to not listen to so much negativity that it drags you down like an anchor, you know. So the point of this video is to find positive vibrational anchors that are above you. And like I said, it doesn't have to be too high above you. It doesn't have to be too low. It doesn't matter. I mean, it might matter because if it's really high, you might really just not be into it. So you're going to probably find it a lot easier to do something somewhat lower, but I want to talk about the vibrational anchors and you can actually create them too. So that's what I want to discuss in this video. So one thing is listening to music. I've already mentioned it, but if you listen to positive music, things that you really enjoy, they can help you feel happier. I like to start out the day with some positive music, and it helps me to feel more energized and ready to go, as long as you're picking the right kind of music, of course. As I mentioned, some music may drag you down. Be very picky about what music you listen to in that sense, because you want things that are going to keep you at the same level or increase your level, right? You don't want something dragging you down. And so I have suggested to people in the past to come up with a playlist on YouTube, even, or you can do your own playlist, of course. And you can just find songs that are really positive and very, like I said, very picky. Don't put in things that are just so-so or make you think about something that was a negative experience for you. So if you listen to that positive music, it can raise your vibration. Here's another thing. When I was at the park last year, I was listening to music on my headphones as I was walking and running. When you're walking and running in a park, you are usually feeling very free. Something about probably attuning to nature, where nature has this really high vibration and you're attuning to that in a sense, but also just the freedom of being outside and walking or running somewhere where you're not having too much of a plan as far as like, I have to do this for that. You know, you're not really thinking about the day-to-day grind by the time that you're going. In and of itself, it's good exercise, but hopefully you're not doing it just for the exercise, that there is some sort of positive thing going on with it. And like I said, listening to music is great for that. So that's what I did. And I noticed this winter when I was feeling a little, I don't know, cabin fever, I guess, maybe a little bit of sad, you know, the seasonal affective disorder stuff where it's just like, it's so great, it's so cold, I can't get out, you know, I can't go out into the park like I used to be. And I would feel like really upset about that, about not being able to go and just enjoy the sun on my face, because I go outside and it's like 0 degrees and I'm not going to just stand out there in 0-degree weather with the sun on my face for a while, right? So, but my point is, I was listening to music and some songs were coming on and I was like, wow, I remember listening to this when I was at the park. Very clear memories of this particular song when I was at the park. Oh, this is when I was at this park. This is when I was at that place. And it brought back these same feelings. And we know this, everybody knows this. You have these certain songs and they just trigger a memory in your mind and all of a sudden you're back there thinking about that time. What is my point here? Well, it is the fact that you can actually program these things. So if I had known that, I would have been listening to very specific music at the park. Well, I did it anyway, but I'm telling you, and you can do this too. So if you are going forward and doing something very enjoyable, you can pick an anchor, and it can be a specific song. Like, you always listen to this song when you do this. And so then after a while, you have associated that song with that activity. The same can be said for meditation music. I have some meditation music that I listen to from My Noise, the My Noise website. And I'll listen to that when I'm just relaxing, meditating with candles on, and just total relaxation, right? And now if I was stressed, I could just turn on that song and all of a sudden all these memories come flooding back about when I was meditating and relaxing, and that peace. Just hearing the song can bring a feeling of peace to me. So if you go forward and choose a specific song, a specific melody or something, and do something with that constantly, you can bring these two together in your mind. And then whenever you hear the song, it can actually uplift you. So this is just a little hack for raising your vibration, or, you know, starting to relax from being very stressed out if you do it with meditation music. Another thing is smells. So aromatherapy. Have a specific smell that you do with something. This is why when I lit incense when I was meditating, now I can light incense and all of a sudden I'm back to that really peaceful feeling. because you can create these associations for yourself. And now that's an anchor. Another thing is if you are sort of used to dressing up for specific occasions, you can dress up. And this is kind of like act the part, where you feel like dress for success. If you feel like you want to be very managerial or something, if you're looking to get a new job or something, you can dress in those clothes that make you feel like you're more professional in that sense. So you can choose clothing. That would be your vibrational anchor to try to get you into that feeling of very confident with yourself. And another thing would be finding people who are a match to what you want to do. So that's why they say, like, for increasing your wealth, hang out with wealthy people. And I also wanted to point out, I was reading What Are the Odds by Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. And he was actually a crack addict. And he came up with a term for this, and he called it a hope match. Just going to read his definition of it from the book. A person's hope match is someone who has been through what they've been through and come out clean and sober on the other side with their heart restored. So he had gone to lots of addictive facilities to try to stop addiction. And he was like, they're just telling me these theories and they've never been through it. They don't know what they're talking about. And he finally found somebody who had been addicted in the same way he was addicted around the same time period, but this guy had come clean. And so he's looking at him and he's thinking, like, this is my hope match. This is what I'm hoping for. And if he can do it, I can do it. And it helps to increase your faith that it is possible for you to actually do this because somebody else is doing this. And if anybody else can do it, obviously you can too, because it is possible for a person to do this thing. And so that hope match is kind of what they talk about with people who are trying to sort of network with people who have more money. It's being able to see people who are successful. It doesn't have to be about money. And that's probably why people listen to people in the new age, if that's what they're into, who have found a spiritual understanding, because it feels like it can sort of bring them up. I can tell you, for a year or so, I was listening to Abraham Hicks like constantly. Now, I think that Esther has some things wrong, and that comes through. I understand that not all channels are 100% clear. Everybody has to have these perspectives that it gets filtered through when you're channeling. But she was a very high vibration, and to listen to somebody who's a very high vibration and interested in the same things you're interested in at that point in time, it can sort of lift you up just by listening to it, right? So finding people, they can be anchors too, in a sense, but people are fickle and it doesn't always work because sometimes their perspective comes through. It's not perfect with other people because sometimes they can fall into the complaining section too, right? And that's why you don't want to idolize people. So some people, they could say, listen to me for this time, and then I could do something else, and all of a sudden they aren't agreeing with me. They don't see things the way I see them. And I think that's why people get so angry at people who are on YouTube or various other video platforms when they don't agree on something, because for a while they were very close vibrationally matched. They're like feeling better and better by listening to them, and all of a sudden they say something that this person doesn't like, and that's because of the idolatry. So people aren't always perfect for being that. However, what you can do is, if you are trying to use people as a vibrational anchor to feel better when you're listening to them, it's making you feel better. If at any point something feels off about what they're doing, you can shift and start listening to somebody else. And I find myself doing that. Like sometimes I'll be listening to a certain person, like just running through the videos by that person. And then somebody else will send me a link to somebody else, and I'll listen to that person. And I'll be like, wow, that's really interesting. That's more what I feel right now. So I'm going to go listen to that, that sort of stuff right now. And you can just flip-flop between who you're listening to, whatever makes you feel better, and obviously not what makes you feel worse. Okay, so people is another thing. So we've got music, clothing, incense or aromatherapy, it doesn't have to be incense. You can use a perfume or cologne or scented candles or any kind of fragrance. Even just cleaning your house, using a nice like lemon zest cleaning around the house might actually make you more likely to clean your home if you get into that mode. When you clean it, you feel great that everything got clean, and smelling it again can make you feel energized to clean again, to have that feeling of accomplishment of cleaning your house. So there are various things that you can use to sort of bring you up as that higher vibrational anchor. The thing I was forgetting was crystals. I knew there was another one I forgot to mention. So crystals. Now, if somebody doesn't believe that crystals do anything, then it's not going to do anything for them because they have a belief that it's not going to do anything for them. The reason people do say that crystals are helping to raise your vibration is because they are very high frequency. Whether that is true or false, it doesn't really matter, because I'm saying that what you believe really matters a lot. So if you don't believe they're going to work, then they're not going to work because you have a belief that they're not. And that's what you're looking for, confirmation bias. And so if you do believe they work, that is a good intention. So you can go into it with that intention. So you can create this with a crystal, and perhaps you can do it with anything, and maybe not actually even a real crystal if that's like too expensive for you. There's some very cheap crystals out there, but some of them are more expensive. You could probably just pick an object and say, intend with it, I intend that this is going to help me do something. So I got blue. It's blue. The colors of crystals are supposed to match the chakras that they help. And that tends to be the case if you're looking up meanings of things. Tends to be, not always. But blue is supposed to be for the throat chakra. So if I want to speak clearly, I could say, well, the color blue, that's one thing. You could just do by colors. You don't even have to get a crystal, right? But you could say the crystal that's blue is going to help me to be able to speak what I want to speak out there, or write what I want to. It's supposed to be about expression. The throat chakra, it doesn't have to be about physical voice. It's just about expressing yourself. So you can use that, wear it, you know, whether it's a color or whether it's a crystal or whatever, and then do that thing that you were planning on doing and saying, this is going to help me with that, and just intend it and do that a few times, or, you know, however many times. And over time, I would bet that you will find that you are, once you put them on, you are feeling like it is going to help, and you're associating it now with the fact, like, I did that. So when I wore this in the past, I got that really long article up on my website. When I wore this in the past, I did that video that I thought might be tough, and I actually got through it and I uploaded it, right? So as you wear it, you're reminded every single time afterwards, like, oh yeah, when I wore this, I accomplished that. And it is now associating in your brain the accomplishment that you felt. And it can help you to, like, if you're feeling here, you're like, how am I going to do this? And now you put on your crystal or your colors or whatever that you've sort of intended with this belief. And now you are reminded of the accomplishment you felt every other time that you were wearing it, and you can raise your vibration up to it to attract the accomplishment once again. So this is about intention and thought, belief, and our beliefs really matter. And if you feel like you can't do it, then that is going to keep you back from actually accomplishing it, because it'll keep you from actually seeing all the ways that you could do it. Whereas believing that you can is going to keep an open mind and allow you to do that. So getting vibrational anchors is something that you can actually create, as I mentioned, because you can just intend, when I hear this song, when I play this music, when I smell this incense, then I'm going to be in this mode. And you can do separate scents for different modes. You can, use different crystals for different modes, colors for different modes that you have. And so you can create these vibrational anchors that can pull you up. And like I said, be aware you don't want a vibrational anchor that will drag you down. and you'll know by how you're feeling. So if you're feeling positive, if you're feeling upbeat, you believe that it's going to work out, then that's great. If you believe that that whoever is singing, let's say they're singing something sad song, whatever, or somebody's complaining on the internet like, oh, we're gonna all die in nuclear war or something in the next couple of years, right? If somebody's like just like really complaining or something, just notice if you feel bad, you don't have to listen to them. You can change the channel. You can turn off the video. You can, you know, do something different. You don't have to listen to what other people are saying. And so the freedom is in our minds. We're always free to choose new thoughts and think new things. So let me know if you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below if you've got a vibrational anchor that you've already been using or that you now plan to try. I'd like to know that if you've actually tried this out after you've watched the video. I'd like to hear if it works out for you. And thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed and have a great day. Thanks for watching. If you're on any of the following platforms, consider subscribing to my content there also. My videos are available on Gab TV, Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube. You can also join my Law of Attraction life coaching groups on Telegram, MeWe, Gab, and Minds. And I've now added a locals group where you can support me to get exclusive content. I'm also on Twitter and Getter. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and consider sharing the video with friends or family. Have a great day.